We're live.
So we're live. Do I need to turn this on?
Oh, no, it's on. We're going.
All right, slick.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, gang?
I'm Joshua Jay Nieto, hanging out with comedian extraordinaire, Raymond Orta.
That's right. Welcome to, what's the name of your show?
That's the crazy thing, guys. This is the first podcast episode, and we don't even have a name for the show yet.
I don't even like the term podcast. Sounds a little outdated. It's a talk show.
Yeah, it's a talk show.
We're talking.
So it's no longer a podcast, it's a talk show.
We're talking and we're walking.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to call it? What are you going to call it?
I don't know. What should we call it?
No cap.
The No Cap Talk Show.
But you're wearing a cap.
No cap.
Don't take it off.
Don't take it off.
The light might blind the camera.
Bro, I don't.
Get a solar flare.
Yeah, I don't take my hat off because, like,
Tell 'em.
I'm losing my hair, man, and it's shiny.
It's super shiny, bro.
And I feel like those, like when I'm in the club and stuff.
Do you have the cul-de-sac?
I have the cul-de-sac, bro. So like, it's
How old are you?
34.
And got the full cul-de-sac going
Got
on,
the
ladies.
cul-de-sac, dude.
You know what that means? He's loaded with testosterone.
When you can pull, like, I just feel like it is a huge compliment to guys that are bald and you can still get laid.
Yeah.
Like, we're at a huge disadvantage. All my cul-de-sac brothers out there.
If you know somebody that has a cul-de-sac, tag them in the comments so they can relate to Josh.
Yeah.
You're not gonna show them though.
So
you're not gonna show it?
Should I show them?
I think you should. Show it
I'm scared,
up.
dude, because showing
Why are you scared? Why are you scared, bro? Like,
look, you gotta watch the show. At the end of the show, I'm gonna show the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta watch till the end to see the full-on cul-de-sac. You're gonna get
cul-de-sac podcast. Welcome to the cul-de-sac
with Josh. You're hanging out. You're hanging out in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, dude.
Welcome to the sack.
Hit him with one of these. You're in the sack.
Like this. And then like this. We're right here. I live here. You're here. My neighbor's here.
We're meeting in the middle, having a block party, but it's not a block party. It's a sack party.
Having a blast in the cul-de-sac. A blast in the sack.
We're taking it way back to the cul-de-sac.
So it's like, dude, if people, like, you don't know what it's like. You walk around with luscious locks.
I had a talk with a friend of mine that he didn't know that he was going bald.
How do you not know?
But he was doing comedy, and he was doing a show where they have like a screen on the, like a monitor screen.
Yeah, you can see the stage.
Yeah, so he turned around to get a drink, and then he saw himself on the TV and saw a big bald spot in
and
the back.
freaked out.
Like, no!
Dude,
I don't know if I want to blast him out there, but...
when I was starting to lose my hair, that's when I definitely saw it the most. I was watching, same thing, I was watching, like, as comics, we record ourselves, our sets. I was watching my set, and I was, like, bending down or something. I was like, oh, no. I remember,
How
like,
old were you
pressing,
when you first
I was
saw
like, it was, like, 26, 27.
No.
And I pressed pause, and I ran to the restroom, and I was like this, and I was like, oh, my God. I had my phone, and I was taking pictures. I was like, dude, what's up right here?
Is your dad bald?
My dad has more hair than all of his kids combined, bro. My dad's got this great hair, and he's there.
From
and
the
like,
80s. Hey, what's up, Josh?
and we'll be hanging out, and my dad will be like,
Shout
like,
out to Mr. Nieto.
and I could tell he'll feel like, nombre mijo, like, you're embarrassing. Like,
He's embarrassed of your hairline, bro. Gotcha. You know what? Just,
mijo, put the hat back on. Put the hat back on.
oh, no, dude. That's terrible.
Dude, but I own it, bro. Like, I shave my head now. Like, this is long. Like, what I have here is long. It's like long right here. Usually it's like I bought one of those. I called it quits.
The little
yeah. It has like 8 little blades and it feels good.
How does that work? Do those work?
It's good. I got it on Amazon for like $30 and it does the job for sure.
Bro, I'm so thankful.
You're blessed, bro.
I really am. Even because my wife will cut my hair. She's the only one that touches my locks, and I always ask her too. I'm like always like, hey babe, like is it going thin back there? Is it going thin? She's like, no, you have plenty of hair back here. She's like cutting 10 pounds of hair off. Dude, but are you sure? Are you sure I'm not going bald? She's like, no, you're not going bald.
If I had your hair, oh dude.
You'd be in music
I'd
videos?
be like, I feel like I'm driving a Lamborghini, dude.
moving nowhere, but just like a real
right
life.
now, if my hair was a car, it'd be like a Sunfire, like a Pontiac Sunfire or a Chevy Cavalier.
A Fiero.
Missing paint on the top, like the hood just shaving off. Dude,
A Mazda Miata, not a convertible.
all my bald friends out there, keep moving. Keep pushing forward. Keep wearing your hat.
Is there bald people that that you know that really it shakes your confidence?
Yeah, you're looking at him.
Like every day I look him in the mirror. And it just
Every day it's
right
like let's go. Before I go to HEB, I'm like, let's go, let's do this. You know what I mean? I feel like it all depends on how you look your outlook on life. Like I don't at this point I don't care. Like I'm enjoying life. Like I have a girlfriend who's great. She loves me. She's
even with your bald head, she loves you.
Yeah, even with those, I love your bald head. But the bad thing is, like, as soon as you break up with someone, they're like, you bald-headed fuck. Like,
this is the first thing they bring up. Like,
right.
Mr. Baldy.
Get out of here, you Mr. Bald Bastard. Or, you know, it's like, hey, whoa, where was this energy when we were doing good?
Yeah, like the kids that were making fun of Elisha in the Bible.
You bald-headed freak.
You know about that story?
Tell me.
You know Elijah the prophet? Like he was one of the main prophets in the Bible. Well, he had an understudy named Elisha, and
He was bald?
Yeah, he was bald. And Elijah gets called up to heaven, and Elisha he's asking him like, "Hey, the Lord's gonna come for me. What do you want from me?" And he goes like, "I want the power that you have, but a double portion of it." And he's like, "Man, you've asked me a lot, but nevertheless, if you see me go up into the heavens, I'll give you my power. Only if you see it. If you don't, like there's nothing I can do." So Elijah gets picked up by a chariot of fire, it says in the Bible, and Elisha sees it, and he throws him his cloak, like the outer garment that he wears. So now Elisha is walking around with Elijah's, like kind of like his cape, essentially. Right. And on his way back through where they came from, there's these kids that are like, "Hey, what's up? Like, why don't you go up with him, Baldy?" And they're like these little kids, or they're not little kids, they're like teenagers, just kind of like talking crap. Go up with him, Baldy, like kind of telling him like, go die type thing. Go die, Baldy. And the Lord sends 42 bears, or a pack of bears to maul 42 kids, like to kill them because they called him bald.
Man.
So you could have that same anointing, but you gotta dig into the word.
That's what's up, man. It's like, I gotta just view life like, yo, if you mess with me, you're gonna get the bears.
Yeah. To get mauled by bears because you called the dude bald?
Call me bald again, see what happens.
Yeah.
Right? Call me bald again.
Yeah, so chicks, get out of here, you bald freak. You said you wanted the bear? You said you wanted the bear?
Just be hanging out with bears.
All day.
It'd be like Polar Bear.
Shout out to Polar Bear.
John Polar Bear.
He's the comedian I was talking about with the bald spot at the back.
Got him! Nah, Polar Bear, we love you, man. Me and you are gonna be bald together, dude.
Bald bros.
Bald brothers. We're gonna start a motorcycle gang. Just a bunch of shiny heads. We're gonna be causing accidents because all the shimmer's gonna be rays of lights everywhere. Yeah.
I can't see.
You know why I pulled you over? You're distracting everybody. Put that hat back on it's a warning.
You didn't use your blinker. I'm like, I did. Oh, I didn't see it with a glare off your head.
Yeah, dude.
I think that's if I was to lose hair, I would be super bummed about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have, you have a good looking, like.
I got a Jordan head.
Yeah, you got a beautiful.
Got a round head.
I got a lumpy, like.
Speed bump
head. Like, I look like Sloth from the Goonies.
But that's why you got good hair.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I like how we started off this whole talk with our hair.
Got these Jewish curls right there.
Because, guys, we got to let y'all know, like.
What are we going to call your show? Are we really going to call it the cul-de-sac?
I don't know. I
we
think
need
it's
your
catchy.
help, guys. The cul-de-sac?
Yeah, so.
The cul-de-sac kids?
So for this first episode, we're just going to put it out and be like, first episode of, it's going to be like unknown. Because we need a name for this. So as you're watching this, comment what you think should be the name of this here talk show. Because we're not going to use that P word no more.
Yeah,
Don't say it.
Yeah, I won't say it.
Don't say that word.
Yeah. It's an interactive talk show.
The talk show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been cool, man. We're here right now. This episode is being shot at the Isla Grand Resort.
Isla Grand Beach Resort.
Tell them about Isla Grand.
Every Thursday we have awesome comedy. We've been doing it for 3 years running, and every Thursday gets packed. The best thing to do on South Padre Island. And tonight we have a legend, Willie Barcena is going to be here. 4 headliners on one show. Me, Joshua, DJ Vasquez, and Willie Barcena all on one show. It's going to be packed.
Dude, I'm so excited. Like, I grew up watching Willie.
How's that, how does that make you feel?
It's really weird. Like, it's really weird because I was, let's just say, I was probably too young to be watching comedy. I was 7, 8, 9 years old watching stand-up. And, you know, stand-up is not rated PG.
Yeah, especially Willie's.
Especially Willie. And he's not, but he's not a dirty comic. Like, all his jokes are not vulgar and stuff like that. It's just like watching a rated R movie or a PG-13 movie. There's going to be some parts in comedy where, you know, it's just what it is. It's humor and it's okay. So, but I remember being a kid watching him and seeing him on, he was on HBO and Comedy Central, you name it. Like, I was like, wow, this guy's amazing. I wasn't even a comedian, you know, I was a kid.
Did you get a chance to watch Que Locos?
Yeah, Que Locos, yeah. So, you know, it's like, it's really a crazy feeling, like to watch comedy, be a fan, start doing stand-up comedy, and then eventually you're working and doing, and I don't even like the term working, so you get to like have fun and play on the stage with someone who you grew up, who influenced you, you know, who you idolize. Like, I grew up showing my friends Willie, being like, hey dude, you gotta see this guy, Willie Barcena, he's got this joke, or he's super funny, or, you know, it's like you're sharing this guy with people, and then now you're sharing the stage with him.
That's cool, man.
So that's cool, man.
I've worked with Willie a bunch of times, and it's awesome because every time that I've worked with him,
were you like, I don't even know how to feel. Like, I don't know if I'm nervous or anxious or what. Like, and then there's pressure. Like, oh, I want
you got to do good.
I want to do good. I want Willie Barcena to be like, he's a good comedian.
Yeah.
Like, there's almost like a pressure.
There is a pressure.
There's a pressure.
Every time that I've performed with one of the people that I grew up watching, like Paul Rodriguez or Willie Barcena, even Felipe Esparza, Fluffy,
Pablo Francisco,
I have this pressure to do really good. Mm-hmm. Like, I have to, even to a point where it's like, I want to make it hard on them to follow me. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not in a negative way, but in a friendly competition. Yeah. Like, hey, ultimately, the fans are gonna leave the winner. The fans leave, the audience leaves the place feeling, man, they got their money's worth. They got a really good show out of it, and it's always in a friendly competition where it's like,
I love that competitive thought.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, I'm trying to be real, I'm trying to get out of that.
It took me a while to get out of that.
I'm trying to get out of the thought of that just for the sake of, you know, as comedians, like, you're a full-time comedian, this is all you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All your income and taking care of your family comes from comedy, which is great. Because that's everyone's dream, that's everyone's goal. And you've been doing it, and kudos to you, man, for like protecting your family and providing through comedy. Through what you love to do, like you're living a dream. The
Lord has given me talent, and I give Him all the glory. That's the main focus for me, is to always make sure that it's not. I can never make it about myself, because I know that the talent is. There's times that I'm on stage that I say things that are just so fast, and they come up so quickly, like witty, that I know it's like it can't be me. Like, there's these bursts of humor.
It's like
coming
out of body.
Yeah, it's like they're coming in from out of this world, and it's like. That was so funny, just so witty in the moment, that I gotta give credit to the Almighty, because He's the one that gave me all the talent. And
I know there's times where that happens, because you're laughing because you're like, wow, I just said that was great.
Yeah.
And that's when I love that as a student. Like, you know, you've always helped me out. We talk about comedy all the time. We talk all the time, and I'm like, watching that, I'm like, dude, that's great, because in my eyes, when I'm in the audience watching you, I'm like, dude, he's genuinely enjoying this.
That's the main thing, is like, I want to be on stage enjoying myself so much that the audience has to get sucked into this cyclone of enjoyment.
Right.
And if they don't,
so what?
It's not
for them.
I'm enjoying.
Yeah, you're having fun.
I'm having fun with it.
Right.
And if you're not having fun, well, at least I did.
Because I feel like as a comedian or any performer, you never want to feel like you're in shackles.
Big time.
Like, I have to be here to impress these people, or like you don't want to feel like a prisoner to the audience. You want to feel like the opposite. You want to feel like, yo, I'm here to heal the audience. I'm here to provide laughter, to provide that sense of healing. Because right now, in our day and age, like, dude, mental health is huge. People go through a lot of different things. Our economy sucks. Like, it's like there's a lot going on where the people that are coming to a show, sometimes they had to be dragged out to the show.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's friends that are like, hey, come to the show. You got to come see Raymond Orta. You got to come see Joshua Jay Nieto. You got to come see Willie Baracena. They're going to make you laugh. And there's always that one friend or a couple friends that pull people in, and they got there and they didn't even want to show up, but then they get that healing.
That's the
and a lot of times they don't want to come out because they're going through so much.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a lot going on. I can't make it out. Like I just, and someone's telling them, hey, come on out. And they come on out, and then, dude, it's like they just get the best medicine in the world. That for me
is what I do. Like, that's why I do what I do. And if you go to my YouTube channel, there's people in the comments, man, thank you so much for posting this. I was going through so much. I was in a deep, dark depression. You made me laugh big time. I really needed that laugh. When they say I really needed that laugh, man, dude, that for me is worth every bit of, because comedy's hard. Mm-hmm. And that's what I do. I remember this one time I got this real amazing message on Father's Day that we had done a show the night before Father's Day on Saturday, and this guy messaged me on Father's Day the day after we had done a show, and he just messaged me this long paragraph saying that, hey man, I just wanted to send you a message because last night I was thinking about killing myself.
Oh, man.
And I went to your show. He was walking by the theater we were performing at Cine El Rey, and he just heard laughter from the outside, and he just walked in. Nobody was like, we were already so deep in the show that people
they weren't charging at the door.
They weren't even charging at the door anymore.
Yeah.
But he just walked in and said, man, you made me laugh so hard that it totally changed my perspective. And the reason he wanted to do that to himself was because he had been going through a divorce, and he wanted his kids and his family that he was getting a divorce from to feel the pain every year on Father's Day. And he changed his mind, and then on Father's Day he was hanging out with his family, and he goes, I'm hanging out with my family and my kids right now because of you. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, that, as a comedian, nothing beats like the fact that your comedy, your talent saved a life. Like, yeah. And we're just up there because we never know what kind of problems people are going through, and you never know what people are going through in the crowd. There's been people in the crowd that they lost a loved one just recently, and they thought they'd never laugh again. And that right there, when you get them to laugh and they open up and they're like, man, I never thought I'd be able to laugh again. I had a lady come up to me that she had just lost her mom that week prior, and she goes, I thought I'd never laugh again. And I had her rolling like, man, that's the best feeling.
That's so powerful, man.
It is.
And people,
so if you're watching this online, man, the stuff that we put online, and you're a prime example. The stuff that we put online, even the stand-up clips, there's nothing compared to going to a live show. Mm-hmm. The live shows are so much better. They bring healing, and I mean, sure, you can get that laughter from the online clips that we post, but a live show, there's nothing like it.
And then people's attention spans are short.
Yeah.
So as comics, when we're putting out a reel or something, we know that, so we're trying to put a minute or so reel together for the people.
It only gives us 90 seconds on reels. 90
you only
seconds.
get 90 seconds, and if you're not there, you miss what happened prior to that. You miss what happened after that, and so they're not getting the full-on live experience.
I've put up a reel from this clip that went viral, and it's probably, I forget how many views it has right now, but it went nuts. And then they're like, "Oh, dude, this is so funny." I'm like, bro, that was 90 seconds of a 13-minute joke.
Right, exactly. Exactly, and and I was going to say that is like I've put some reels up, and that segment was, like you say, it could have been a 6-minute interaction with somebody that was super funny. If it could have been crowd work, but you only get the 90 seconds, so you got to condense it, and people aren't getting the full-on experience. And sometimes, as people in the crowd, you'll show up at a show, and you'll see things that as a crowd member, you just look at certain characters in the crowd, and you're like, that dude looks goofy, or this person looks funny, or whatever.
I think that's the best part of comedy.
And we do a good job of getting up there and acknowledging it, but in a great way.
Oh yeah.
Like I've seen some comics put people down.
I don't like that.
Or like poop on them, and it's like we're not pooping on you. We're gonna call out what we see, but in an uplifting way.
I like that. I like to uplift others when they come out to my show. I don't want people in the front row where they spend good money for me to just come out there.
And people are scared. People that go to shows sometimes scared. They're like, oh, I don't want to sit in the front. Don't put me in the front. They'll tell the wait staff, please don't put me in the front.
I don't want to get made fun of.
Right, and because people. I've seen comics literally call women the B word, this B word, and look at this dumb or whatever. It's like, no, that's why people don't want to sit in the front. But we're trying to switch that up.
I try to hype, like, it's essentially I'm becoming your wingman.
Right.
Like, I'm there trying to get you laid. I'm like, dude, what's up with this guy? He's awesome. Like, look at this guy's shirt. It looks like he's a mannequin at Cavender's or something.
Yeah.
You know? And I want to hype you up. I want to make you feel good for coming out. I hate, especially when a comedian that opens up for me takes a dump on the crowd. Yeah. I hate that, bro. Like, dude, you just ruined the night for everybody, and I haven't even gotten on stage yet, man. They're not even here to see you. They're here to see me, and taking a dump on them is like, no thanks.
Yeah, no, don't put out negative energy.
Nah, I don't like that. Puro positivo, nada negativo.
Mm-hmm. We're just hanging out tonight, doing the show here at the Isla Grand, and it's cool. Like, you live here on the resort.
They gave me a residency here. I've been living on the beach for 3 years. Telling jokes,
and it's been great. You've been able to give other comedians, their opportunity, their chance,
and the room, bro. I mean,
like today, you've given me a great opportunity. Like, everything happens for a reason. I wasn't even scheduled to do last night, so Raymond also does. It's like a mini run. He has the Rockin' Q in Harlingen, Texas. That's a Wednesday night, and
dude, you know how what's hard about that room is that it's a pool hall, and any comedian will tell you that that's like the hardest thing to do, like to have distractions.
Yeah,
a lot of these
TV's playing.
Yeah,
TV's on, and right now sports is at its peak right now because you got baseball is coming to playoff time, football season's in full effect. Right now, WNBA playoffs is on. There's a lot going on, so they got the TVs on. They got 40, 50 pool tables. You got the stage, you got the crowd area, and then you got pool tables, TVs, commotion. And
I think that's a good thing to challenge comedians.
Yeah, it's a challenge for sure. And there's been some comedians that show up and they're like, hey, are they gonna stop playing pool?
They're like, nah, bro, you gotta
get up there and do your stuff while they're playing pool.
You gotta earn it. And that's, in my opinion, comedians that only come up through comedy clubs. There's two types of comedians. And people don't know this. People out there don't have any idea. But there's two types of comedians. There's a comedy club comic, and there's a bar comic. Mm-hmm. And I think bar comics have such a bigger advantage over comedy club comics because a bar comic can easily go into a comedy club, but a comedy club comic, it's not as easy for them to go into a bar and try to get the same response.
Different settings, like we just described. Bar comic has to deal with TVs. So a lot of the shows are free, so people are walking in for free. When you don't pay for something, you don't care as much.
Yeah.
A comedy club, there are rules that are set in stone. You can, as comedians, we can start off a show. You're a really good host. You can start off a show and be the best host in the world. You can do your best to set up the crowd and say, hey guys, we're having a show. Be respectful, no table talk, no video recording, no heckling, and people will still do it.
Yeah.
And there's nobody to really enforce it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the comedy club, you have managers, you have waitresses, you have security. Ushers, they're paying top dollar at the comedy club. You're paying top dollar for the admission and top dollar for your drinks.
Yeah.
So people are paying $20-$25, and so there's already an immediate sense of, hey, everybody, it's almost like going to the movies.
You have to like be polite and have manners.
Right.
And at the bar,
if you go to the movies, you're gonna pay these days $40-$50 for just two people. That's with food and everything, maybe more. So you're gonna go and you're gonna be quiet and you're gonna watch the movie. Same thing with the comedy club. You're gonna go in there, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna behave, and you're gonna enjoy the show.
Yeah.
And like you said, so comedy club comics don't have to deal with the noise.
Yeah, the distractions. Did you ever get a chance to do Paradise Roadhouse?
No, I didn't.
Oh, dude.
I remember when we became friends, it was coming. That was coming to an end.
Now, Paradise Roadhouse, for people don't know about this, that place now is no longer. I mean, the venue is still open as a bar, but the owner passed away, and they changed the name to the Tipsy Monkey, so they don't do comedy there anymore. But it was the hardest room in the country, and I've done comedy everywhere, and that was the hardest room. and it was on a Tuesday night, and it had every distraction that you could think of. Big projector screens right next to the stage. They didn't have a spotlight. They had like a blinking DJ light. Like every time you talked, it would change colors and to your voice, so it was just super distracting. Pool tables, a punching machine, and like every distraction that you could put into a comedy setting. It was a comedy gauntlet.
Darts?
Darts, but it was not only that, but the audience members, the three main groups of audience members were the cartel, the Bandidos motorcycle gang, and the local Bayuco gang. So you had three different gangs. They're trying not to laugh.
As I say, gang members don't laugh.
Yeah, they're trying not to laugh because they think
you're
laughter
a sissy.
is weakness.
Yeah, you're a sissy if you laugh.
And then you'd have these group of women, bro, they were terrible. These group of women that were there to try to get free drinks from the dudes, so they would just be heckling the whole time so that you guys can get off stage so they can start playing music so they could dance and get free drinks from the dudes. So it was just
so you're saying that after the comedy show, they were already ready for the dance part to come in, or like DJ. For the bar to basically open up, open back up to an actual bar.
Exactly.
So they're like ready for the comedy to be done, so
they could get in front of the dudes and start dancing and twerking and get
their drinks,
free drinks.
Yeah.
So these chicks weren't there to listen to you.
How long was the show? 2 hours?
Yeah, you had to do 2 hours. Like, essentially, you had a host, a feature, and a headliner. But bro, I saw so many people that had credits, bro.
Right,
HBO,
that had their stripes.
David Letterman, they'd been on Howard Stern. I saw so many comedians go in there and just dive bomb, bro. They couldn't handle it. Bro. So that was my open mic. I grew my chops there every Tuesday night. That was where I was trying out my material. My motto was, if you could kill it, if your joke, if you tried out a new joke and it kills at Paradise Roadhouse, it's gonna slaughter anywhere else. It's gonna slaughter anywhere else. But that's where I came up with almost all my material was done. That's why I have like a lot of high energy stuff, because I needed it to get their attention somehow, some way.
And sometimes I feel like in comedy, like, even if you can make the commotion stop because you're an interesting comedian, even if you're not making them laugh, that's a win.
Yeah.
When you can get like last night at Rock and Q.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's a lot of pool people playing pool. I was telling the joke about my dad and his motorcycle accident.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
And dude, the people playing pool stopped playing pool. I wasn't making anybody laugh, but as a comedian, I'm on stage, I can hear the sound of the commotion and stuff go down all the way.
That's a win.
And I'm like, yes. I'm just talking to these people, like having a conversation, telling my joke.
That's a win.
And everybody stopped playing. They stopped shooting pool, and they're just listening. And the joke isn't like a hilarious follower laughing joke. It's more of a real thing that happened.
And like you said, if you can get their attention, you know that's a win in your stage presence.
Right. And I know as a comedian, I'm like, I gave myself a check. Like, dude, you just made everybody stop playing pool. You made the people watching the Astros turn around and start listening. So it's like, dude,
that's a win.
I'm getting a little sharper.
That's
getting
a win
better
right there. And that right there, like the Rocking Q in Harlingen, is kind of like a Paradise Light.
Yeah.
Like it's not because the people there are kind of like respectful, and they're not like.
It's like a level 6 or 7.
Yeah, the Paradise Roadhouse was just like a gauntlet. Like I imagine, like you remember? Did you ever watch the show?
What would you say is worse? Like, because you've done a lot of festivals. Because and the festival's tough too. Is festival harder, or would you say Paradise is harder? Are festivals the hardest?
I think outdoor festivals are probably the hardest.
And especially, and there's a huge difference between a comedy festival and just a straight up like festival.
Yeah,
like a fair, or you're just going on in between as intermission bands. Yeah.
That's the hardest form of comedy. And then if you add in there, and you have to be clean.
Oh
bro. It was outdoor festival, clean outdoor festivals, top. That's the top of the hierarchy as far as difficulty goes, because that is the hardest. Mm-hmm. Because
nobody expects comedy.
Yeah.
Everybody's there for the bands. You're there to eat out like
funnel cakes
and sausage on a stick. Like it's like the fair. It's like a fair.
Yeah. As soon as the band gets off stage, everybody starts going to the vendors. Hey, let me get some tacos.
Or people were in little mini circles talking, chatting it up. And then you just walk on stage and you're like, all right, guys, I'm going to try to make you laugh.
Oh, that's tough, bro. I would say outdoor festivals are harder than Paradise Roadhouse, only because at least Paradise Roadhouse was inside, and you could hear the people like.
And they know comedy's at least happening.
Yeah.
Because literally with the festival, it's like a finger snap. And they're like, all right, here's Raymond Orta, your MC, and then you got to try to make them laugh. And it's outdoors, so those laughs are not staying inside.
They just go into the air like
like a fart.
The bag. And I think those are definitely the hardest. And what's crazy is if there's any comedians watching, if you can get good at hosting those, if you can get good at doing comedy outdoors, that's where the big money's at. Mm-hmm. I just did an outdoor festival, the Grito Fest in Fremont, Texas.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to the city of Fremont for putting on an awesome little festival. It was their second annual, and it's a tiny town, but man, those people came out to just have a good time, and I just wanted to send a shout out to them because they gave me a lot of love out there, and I got paid 5 G's for doing some comedy out there. Hey, as a comedian, bro,
that's amazing.
That's amazing.
Comedy, bro. Making it in comedy financially right now is extremely hard, especially with I was in New York. You got to pay to be on an open mic. You have to pay.
That's it. That for me.
They're making comedians pay, and it makes sense because they're paying money to help the establishment stay open to have the comedy. But comedy is hard.
I've never understood why people pay to perform, man. I understand like it's the big cities and stuff like that, but for me, like as an artist, that for me you're like slitting your own throat, and I mean, and I've done New York. I've been on those open mics, and it just felt real like
yeah.
Like I that's why I don't like the rules. Like there's rules, and as far as like going around the rules, I don't like to say that I break the rules. I just go around them. Mm-hmm. And
when you say the rules, are you saying like I would say like the projected the path to making it.
Yeah.
As a comic.
The path. Yes.
Because the path to making it. If you don't, I'm sure a lot of people are fans of comedy, but if you don't know exactly how it works, people say the standardized way to make it is okay. Go perform at open mics at the comedy club. Get into the comedy club as a host.
Yeah.
Start hosting for a while, a year or two. Then get in with them so good that now you're featuring. And then they say a feature you should be working for anywhere from 3 to 5 years as a comedian before you start featuring. And then work your way up to headlining. And it's like that's what I'm saying, following the path that the people that say you should have to do.
And a lot of these times
you've completely gone around it.
I went totally around it, and a lot of people a lot of comedians actually hate on me because I did that. Mm-hmm. But I'm not here to please comedians.
You're here to please the audience.
I'm here to please the audience, and
that should be everybody's motive. Is not try to make your friends laugh in the back of the room. Make the audience laugh.
Yeah, and I always say this. There's any comedians watching. This is probably I have a master class on YouTube. If you want to be a comedian, I highly recommend you check it out. Raymond Orta Comedy Masterclass. And one of the main points is the opinion of other comedians has never put food on the table for my family.
All right.
And that may sound like a little bit abrasive, but it's the truth. Like it's always the word of mouth of the audience that is paying money to go see you that is actually going to put food on your table. Mm-hmm. The comedians, if they're going to see you, the comedians don't pay to get in. They're always getting in, like, they know the bouncer.
Yeah, they're in the back of the room. They're just watching to see what's up.
Yeah.
And I've seen it firsthand. Because like you say, you do perform at the comedy clubs, some of the best comedy clubs, but you're not, how do I say, you're not a comedy club regular.
Yeah.
Which is great because like, for example, you have a show this weekend in San Angelo and you got 2 sold out shows. And the comedy club will more than likely, if you were performing at the comedy club, they're taking a cut from you.
Oh yeah,
they're going to take half of what you're supposed to get.
That right there is already a red flag for me. It's like, hey, wait a minute.
And what does it make sense if? Why would you do a comedy club over a place that's giving you 100% of the money that's coming in?
I would take that all day, even if it's in a ballroom in a VFW hall. I'll take that all day because I know that ultimately I'll bet on myself.
Right.
I'll gladly bet on myself because I know it's a smart bet. And there's other comedians that, like they say, he didn't go through the
right
rules.
Circuit. Yeah.
He didn't work the door at a comedy club for a couple of years before he became a host. I'm not. That's too slow for me, man. Like I gotta jump on board, and like tonight where we're working with Willie Barcena, I worked with him plenty of times. I didn't do that through
the comedy club.
Through the comedy club, a lot of these times is we put on our own shows, and we're paying these comics to come down, and we just open up for them because it's we're saving money by being the promoter / opener. I'm saving money by not having to pay another opener.
Right,
I'm just like doing it myself, and then that's where they get a chance to meet me, and they're
see
like, "Oh,
see what you got."
Yeah, this guy's good, bro. I like this guy.
So you made money. You got to work with the comedy legend. They got to see you perform, and you got to show them what that you're somebody. And then now, fast forward to today. Now you got Willie's number in your phone. You're talking to him, and now it's a friendship.
Yeah, and I think that right there is probably. Did I go around the rules? Yeah, but it's my preferred way of doing business. It's like I'm not here to break the rules. I'm just here to bend them a little bit.
Yeah, you're just here doing what you love.
And I think
and in a smart way.
In a smart way, I think the cool thing about all that is not only do you get a chance to work with the comedians, but if you do good and they see you do good, man, I have the respect of these guys like Felipe Esparza, Steve Trevino. All these guys know me by name. Not only do they know me by name, but because I put money in their pocket, but they know me by name because I actually made it hard for them to go on after me. As like, oh, dude, this guy brings the heat, and that's I think the ultimate tip of the hat that you can get from anybody, like,
any comedian. Yeah.
I think one time I was performing with Paul Rodriguez when he was on his retirement tour. He's got a new movie out there, by the way. Check him out on Holy Cash. And he's putting it in theaters and stuff. So if you have a chance, check out Paul Rodriguez's new movie. But the promoter was telling him, like, hey, man, like, you're retiring. You should take this guy on the road with you and like, put him up as I'm handing the torch over.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but you wouldn't have to follow him every night, bro. It's me having to go on after on the stage. And he gave me a big compliment. He's like, hey, kid, don't take this as the wrong way, but I can't take you on the road with me. You're going to make my ass work every night. I'm not here to work. I'm just here to make money. Yeah. I go, nah, dude, I take that as a compliment all day. That was a big compliment. And he knows me, like, personally, and I think that's that to earn his respect in a way where he saw me go on stage. I got a standing ovation right before, did 30 minutes, like, and the guy's like, dang, bro, what'd you do, man? Like, making me work my ass off for this check. But I think ultimately every time I go on stage, and this was the old me, like, every time I go on stage, I'm there to get fans for me. Mm-hmm. Now it's like I'm hosting, I'm chilling, and I just like kind of like goof off and try new material while I'm hosting. But before then, if I'm going on right before you, bro, I gotta bring the heat no matter what. Like, it's your job to follow me. Like, I'm not here to pull any punches. I've been asked to pull punches by other comedians. Like, nah, I'm not gonna pull punches. Like,
and that just means like tone it down.
Tone it down.
Hey,
like,
don't be so funny, man.
Yeah, don't be so funny.
And that's not. I mean, I feel like that's not. I feel like that's not right. Like, like you should.
The audience is gonna get their
you
best
want the
bang for their
you
buck.
want the audience to have a good time and be funny, like have fun.
I think that's the best. Yeah. I think that's the number one key for repeat customers. Mm-hmm. And in comedy, it's like one thing to sell a ticket one time, but when you come back through town, can you sell those people that have seen you before? Are they gonna buy a ticket again? Mm-hmm. And I think, I've done, how many shows have I done with you in New Braunfels?
Oh, man. I think we've probably done at least 6, 7, 8 shows
and
over the years.
People keep on coming back. Mm-hmm. People keep on coming back. I always got new material.
And it's such a good feeling, man.
It is.
When you're like, I feel like that's such, it's like they're no longer, and that's how I feel about comedy is like, I don't want fans. I don't want people to just be fans. Like, I want to make friends with people. I want friends.
I think that's the key right there.
I want people to be I want to be people's friends. I want to make friends. I don't want to see people as you're just a fan. Like, no, I want to have a personal friendship with people.
That's the way I see it.
Yep.
And
you do, dude. I love watching after shows. Everybody's like, they buy your merch, your candles, everything. You take the time to sign them, take pictures and everything. And there's comedians, and there's nothing wrong with it, but there's comedians that will charge for the meet and greet. They'll charge to take a picture. They'll charge for the extra stuff and the merch. You don't charge people a dime to take a picture with you to sign, autograph something. Like, that's awesome, dude.
I think that if you go down,
like, I learned from that, and I would never I didn't need to see it, but I love seeing it. Like,
no, yeah.
I learned from it. I'm like, dude, I want that same relationship with my fans.
I think that's
my friends. Like,
one thing
that's what I love.
Taught by my mom is to never get arrogant about your.
Always stay humble.
Yeah, man. That's that. Right. My mom was definitely raised me the right way in saying, like, you're never too good to be like
just down to earth.
Yeah,
I'm
super down to earth. And I've known that I've wanted to do this since I was 8 years old. Like, I've wanted to do comedy since I was 8 years old. So, like, I'm used to people coming up to me saying hi to me in the mall and restaurants and gas stations, and people will say, "Does that ever get old?" Nah, dude. No. I knew that this is what I wanted since I was 8 years old, and I knew that this was what I was signing up for. There's people that are comics that are very antisocial, and they're just flashes in the pan that, you know, those people will come out and see you one time, but after that, like, they don't feel like an emotional connection to you, and that's the last. I think building like you said earlier, making friends, not fans.
Right, friends.
And I think
man.
for me, like, I don't have fans all over the place. I have friends all over the place. I think that's key.
We've lived, like, we haven't had the best like upbringing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying like for me and my family, my parents, I'm not saying like it was terrible, but I'm saying we weren't rich and loaded with money. Like, my mom and dad were middle class, hardworking people that.
You sound like Kamala right now. I grew up in the middle class.
The middle class.
I just had a real hard work. Let me start off by saying.
Let me redo it. Lower class. I grew up in the middle class. We had reduced lunch. We had 40-cent lunch. But no, my family taught me right from wrong. My mom and dad are great people. Shout out to mom and dad. Love y'all.
I love them so much. Wonderful
great people, man. And
your mom and my mom went to school together.
Yes,
yeah, that's crazy.
Yes.
So she's a wonderful lady. Wonderful.
So I guess I owe it to my parents that have taught me how to just be cool, you know. And like you have a great story, like how you grew up. You know what I mean? Didn't you? You've told me you were living out of a car.
Yeah, my mom and my dad was very chaotic. My real dad, the Silver Fox, may he rest in peace, and he was chaos, bro. Like, driving, walking chaos. And my mom was like, just trying to keep him and just trying to keep a wild stallion reined in. It's like not gonna happen, man. And so they ended up getting a divorce because my dad was just wild, man. He was this crazy person, cheating on my mom every freaking hole he could find. So he was like at Diddy parties, baby,
the Silver Fox,
Silver Fox in it, bro. And he was doing, man, he was walking chaos.
Yeah.
And but like, so at one point we were living out of her car when I was like 3 years old, and I think, like, I don't know what I did, but I remember, like, one of my core memories was I remember making my mom laugh when she was in a real dark space. Like, she was in a real crappy situation, and I made her laugh with something I did or something I said where, man, she needed to laugh. And that right there is like, man, I know that I need to do this more.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, like, what really brought my love for laughter out, was that moment. Was like, man, she was in such a bind, and that right there is like key. When I made her laugh that first time, it was like,
yeah, that feeling becomes more than anything.
Superpower.
Like better than winning the lottery, or like, well, you know, like
all day.
Yeah.
And if there's any other people that are watching, man, comment in the comments. Like, if you've ever been to a show, comment. Let people know that have never been to a show what they can expect, because there's a lot of people that just see the stuff that we put up on social media and, these guys aren't even funny. But man, we can't even begin to touch the subjects that we want to talk about on social media because we get flagged, we get banned. I mean, look at Mario. He just lost his Instagram account.
Really?
Yes, bro.
I did see that. I was like, golly.
And he had over 100,000 followers, dude.
And the sad part is, as a comedian, we're all just trying to do our best to make people have, like, just laugh. Just have a moment of time, a moment in time to just laugh.
I think that's the key right there. Is like, when you're scrolling, you see so much bad news and messed up things that we want to be that break that when you scroll, you're like, oh, this guy put up a video. I want to check it out.
I want to laugh. I want to see something. I want to see something interesting, something funny.
And then for them to, like, because Mario's no holds barred. You know what I'm saying? So when he pulls up a video and stuff, yeah, like, he says some messed up things, but they're funny. But it's like you said, we're just trying to make people laugh, to give people that break in life, to get that laugh, and then for them to punish us for it. Like, dude, come on, man.
And what I immediately think of, like, when you say, and shout out to Mario Salazar. Mario is extremely funny. If you don't know Mario, check him out.
Superstar comedy.
Yeah, follow Mario. Really good dude. Really good friend. it hurts because I'm like, dang. In my head, I'm just like, that's gonna affect his income. That's gonna affect his family. That's gonna affect his wife.
Bro.
Like that's gonna affect.
That's
everything.
So if you ever have a chance to you've seen our stuff on social media, but if you ever have a chance to come out to a live show, that's where you really support us. Especially Josh, man. Josh is doing this full time. You're doing this full time. You quit your career as a teacher to pursue this, and I gotta applaud you for it because that's a big time leap of faith. And I remember when I was working on the radio, from one morning to the next, I just had to quit. I just had to quit, bro, because they were really holding me back creatively, and they weren't letting me do any shows. Like, they weren't letting me go out of town. Like, nah, you can't go out of town and do the Houston Improv because you got to do this appearance over here at Clark Chevrolet, you know? And I was like, dude, man, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? You were facing that as a teacher. Not only do you have you can't go do that, Josh, because somebody might see you and they might write you up, and how much did that hold you back?
Tremendously,
for years,
because I remember when I was doing comedy. I was doing comedy for about 7 years, and when I got my teaching job, I had to delete everything.
Yeah, I
had to delete all my social media stuff. I had to just scratch it out as if I'm not a comedian anymore.
Yeah.
And that was very, it was like good and bad. It was nice because I had an uncle who was a teacher, and I always, as a kid, thought I didn't know what I wanted to do growing up. I know I love to make people laugh, but as a career, I was like, I wouldn't mind teaching. I'm big on the idea of having an impact on people, whether it's adults or kids. With comedy and teaching kind of are similar, because with teaching, shout out to all the teachers out there doing your thing, because
that's a hard gig.
And teachers are important because you're having an influence on kids that are maybe going through things or whatever, but you're having an impact on people's lives.
One of the biggest things in my life as a comedian was from a teacher. Like the lady that got me to sign up for a talent show in 3rd grade was my teacher, Miss Marta Treviño. And she brought the paper. She showed me the little poster that they were saying, hey, do you have talent? Can you dance? Can you sing? Can you play an instrument? Can you do magic? And all these little talents that they were listed at the very bottom. It said, or even tell jokes. It was the last
throwaway.
The throwaway, or even tell jokes. And she goes, Raymond, you could sign up for this talent show. I believe in you. And man, you do not understand, as a teacher, if there's anybody that's a teacher out there, I think that is the most amazing thing that lady opened my eyes to that, because I was like, I can't tell jokes. I was always the class clown in her classroom. So she goes, you should tell jokes. And she made me write out my material, 5 minutes of clean material to try out for my talent show. And she made me go up on stage. And after that moment, bro, I won the talent show at 3rd grader. I was hooked. I knew that's what I wanted from that moment on. Fast forward to later on in life, another teacher. I'd always been the class clown in class, in school, all the entire time. Another class clown to where disruptive in the sense where I was just being like heckling the teacher, but the teacher would say something and there was a double meaning or a double word play, and I'd be like, and it would make everybody laugh. And I remember this one teacher pulled me out of the class, and she goes, because there was a teacher couldn't complain on me because I was getting all A's, but I was totally just half-assing it, just coasting, because I knew the words, I knew the homework, and I would just finish it at the very last 10 minutes of the period. I'm like, here you go, and she couldn't complain because I was getting 100 anyway, but she knew it was I was just still half-assing it.
Yeah.
And she pulled me out of and I think this is the most important thing that ever happened in my life. She pulled me out of the class and she called me out on it. And I think as a teacher, they hold a lot of power, because the number one thing you can do as a teacher is not prepare them for the STAR test or whatever, but pull out the person's 100% potential. And I think that teacher pulling me out of class, she goes, I know you're doing half-assed work. You know you're doing half-assed work. And the only person that's coming out the loser is you. And I go, what are you talking about? I'm getting perfect scores on your tests and stuff like that. And she goes, no, you're doing half-assed work, and you know that it's okay, because as long as you're beating out all your other classmates, you're fine with it. But you don't even know what your full 100% potential is. You don't even know what that is. You don't even know, you haven't even scratched that surface, and you don't know what your character is made of to do 100% of your potential. And she was right. And then she goes, you know what? I'll tell you this. If you give me 100% of your potential and you help everybody else around you understand the work like you're understanding it and help everybody finish their work, whatever time is left at the end of the class, you can go up in front of the class and tell jokes.
Wow.
Oh, bro, for me, that was everything I've ever wanted. And I think...
That's good motivation.
Bro, that was for me, it was like... And she goes, but the jokes have to be clean. So I was a sophomore in high school going up in front of these students that are like the rowdiest, like La Jolla High School, like they'd eat anybody for lunch, bro. So I'm having to entertain the rowdiest classmates, and if you could make them laugh, bro, you can make anybody laugh. So I'm going up there doing clean jokes, which is in comedy the hardest. And then not only was she letting me do comedy in her class, but then all the other teachers, she was in the teacher's lounge, she goes, hey, like...
hey, you know how to motivate Raymond?
Yeah, that's like, I think my health teacher brought it up, like, man, Teacher Raymond's like a pain in the ass. He goes, no, he's been a wonderful kid in my class. He's like, what? Like, are you serious? He's like, no, but he's disrupting the class all the time. He's like, no, this is how you get a hold of him. And, bro, she started telling all the other teachers, bro, I was doing comedy like 3, 4, 5 times a day in all the different classes because I was actually, like, now motivated to not only finish my work, but actually get a chance to do... like to help other kids, teach them the work so they can finish their work and like, dude, let me go on like the last 10 minutes of the class. I'll go up there and tell jokes and goof off. And everybody was motivated not only to finish their work, but they wanted to see the jokes too. They wanted to see the show. Yeah.
That's awesome,
so
dude.
I think that had more to do with my comedy career than anybody else, because by the time I was in high school, I already had an hour of clean comedy.
Wow.
Who does that?
Yeah, that's hard.
That's hard.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me as a teacher, man, I was just like when I started teaching, it was great. But then after a minute, I started to, because when I started teaching, it was right when COVID hit.
Oof.
And it was tough because I remember, one, having to get rid of all my comedy stuff, and then two, it was like once I got what I thought I wanted, when I started teaching, I was like, I finished college, I'm a teacher now. It was fun, but then I was missing that comedy piece. You know what I mean? I was missing it, and then I taught for 4.5 years. When I was getting towards the end of my 3-4 years
like
or whatever,
a shell.
I started feeling like, you remember in Winnie the Pooh when Tigger's stuck in the tree and he can't get down, and Rabbit's like, Tigger, if we get you down from that tree, you promise to never bounce again. And Tigger's like, I promise. And he gets down from the tree and he wants to bounce, and Rabbit's like, no, you can't. And Tigger's so like depressed, he's just like,
because
he lost his bounce. You know what I mean? That's how I felt. I'm like, dude, I'm a teacher.
I can see that.
But I'm like glaring out the window, like missing comedy. Like I missed it, dude.
Like that meme where SpongeBob is looking out or Squidward is looking out at SpongeBob and Patrick having a good time.
Yeah. That was me, dude. And it was just crazy. I'm so glad I got back into comedy, though, dude.
Me too, bro. Because you were so talented. Like before you started teaching, like you were like on the cusp of really doing great things. And then you just stopped.
Yeah.
I was like, but you don't want to do shows? No, I can't, bro. I gotta work. And I was like, no, like, come on, bro. Like, we're going on the road. And it's
it was at a point where it was a lot going on. But at the time, I was focused on, my job. And then also my daughter at the time was like 3, 4, 5 years old. So I was focused on like family. You know what I mean? I was focused on making sure my home's good, you know? And then I went through a divorce and everything, and then you were the one that we talked on the phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, because we still had a good relationship. Even though I wasn't doing comedy, we'd still talk all the time and everything. And actually, I didn't quit completely, because I remember doing some shows with you where you'd pull me out every once in a while. Like, hey, what are you doing? You're not doing nothing? Come do this show with me.
Do you feel that your divorce had the reason it happened was because you stopped doing comedy? Like, you lost that part of that person that you were?
I think that... it kind of lost my bounce.
Like your edge.
Like I could definitely see why my ex-wife would be like, I don't want to be with this guy. He's just a boring teacher, you know? He ain't got nothing going for him, you know?
Man, that's crazy.
So, dude, when it comes to that stuff, like I have no problem. Like I feel like when people split or things happen, some people are always quick to be like, it's all their fault, or all like I take a lot of blame. You know what I mean? I learn from it. I learn. I'm like, it's like learning. I don't feel like I'm getting to the point in life where it's like I don't like the word failure no more. There's no such thing, because It's okay, or not no such thing, but it's okay to fail.
Yeah.
It's okay as long as you're learning from what happened. You know what I mean? And so now I fast forward, it's like I'm becoming a better man from my failures. I'm learning from it.
100%.
And I learned that, like now I enjoy the fact that where I'm at. Like I love where I'm at. Like you said, right now I'm doing comedy full time and I'm barely making it. But I don't care because I'm doing what I love.
That's the key right there,
I'm doing what I love. Like I don't care about anything else but doing what I feel like I was put on this earth to do.
That right there is the key right there, because when I was on the radio, I did morning radio for like 5 years, and I feel like every day was just a chore. But the perks were good, the money was good. I would get into concerts for free. I would host these festivals and all that stuff. But man, it was such hard ass work that it became like it was dragging me down. Mm-hmm. And then when I quit, the money, like from one moment to the next, no safety net, nothing.
Yeah, there is no net.
No net. And it's like you got to hit the ground running and really just roll with it as fast as you can. And like you said, the money got like less, but man, I felt so much
freedom.
Freedom, big time.
Free spirit, man.
It was all on me. The risk was all on me, and I think that was like the most freeing aspect, is that whether I make it or not, it's all on me. There's nobody else that's gonna be like, I can point the finger at. It's like, no, I have to.
It's you, dude.
It's all on me, bro. And I think that takes a lot of balls.
Whenever I was, going through all that, I kind of didn't know what to do. Like, if you ever been through a tough time in life, divorce, whatever, death, any tragedy in life, I kind of didn't know what to do. It was kind of caught off guard. And I remember you and I talking on the phone. I was kind of venting you, telling you, what's happening, what's going on, and you were the one that's like, dude, you got to do comedy, dude. You got to get back into it. And I was just getting back into stand-up, just as like something to do to take my mind off of what's going on. And I look back and it was like one of the most. It was a really not a good time in life, but it also was, because I felt like, I'm just getting into this because I miss it and I love it, and this is the only thing that's going to keep my head sane. Yeah. I'm almost doing it. This is like my therapy.
Totally, bro. I remember that. Yes.
This is my therapy. 100%. This is me getting out,
and you needed it, dude. I remember I remember trying to talk you into it, and I felt like kind of weird. Like I'm like, dude, like you need this. Mm-hmm. Why am I having to talk you into it? Like, you need this. Yeah. You need it. Like, come on and do it.
And you know what? It was actually here, dude.
Yeah.
It was bringing me here. We were talking. You're like, there's a show coming up next Thursday. Come do the show. Yeah. And you hooked me up with Irma. Mm-hmm. Irma. I knew Irma. I mean, we had already done Teachers Gone Bad with her while I was teaching.
Shout out to La Chingona.
And I, Irma too was telling you. I remember she tells me, she was telling you, I don't know if Josh does comedy anymore. Like, I don't think he's gonna want to do it. And you were like, no, I just talked to him. Like, he's going to do it. Yeah. And now fast forward, like, look at where it's got me, bro.
Yeah,
like,
bro,
you and Irma are...
You've gone all throughout the country doing comedy.
I tell Irma all the time, like, y'all have no clue what you've done for my life and my family and everything, dude. Because, like you said, I never would have traveled around the country with Teachers Gone Bad had I not talked to you and got with Irma. Like, I would not have visited all these places, like, outside of comedy. Like, I got to take my kid to Oregon and Indianapolis and... St. Louis, and I've traveled the world thanks to all this, and it's like I already feel like life is amazing. People will, people look at things on the outside. Well, when are you gonna be on Netflix? Or when are you gonna do this? When are you gonna do that? When are you gonna you're gonna make it one day? I've already made it.
That right there. That right there is the key.
I'm already blessed, bro. I'm already happy. I'm not saying I don't want those things, but I'm so thankful for life, bro. Like, you got to take a moment in life to just be thankful for what's happening right now.
And if you're not in that position right now, if people are watching this right now, they are not in that position, what are they missing out on? Right. You know what? Like, you know what you were missing out on because you lived it. Mm-hmm. But there's people out there that are not following their dreams. Bro, how many people out of 100% of the people that you know are not following their dreams? Mm-hmm.
Because it's like that question, like in life. Think of back when you were a high school kid. Most people, or like when you were in school, the teacher asked you, "Hey, write down what your dream job is, or what do you want to be when you grow up?" Yeah. Most people are not going to say what they're doing now. That's like nobody dreams of, one day I want to be a car salesman. Like, nobody wrote that down in school.
Shout out to the people that are selling cars that don't want to do it. Sorry.
Hey, and maybe you love it now. Maybe you're like, I love selling these vehicles, but it's just that idea that it's just like living the dream or what you dreamed of doing or being, and it's just like you got to do it. You got to dive in. You got to just cut the rope and be like, you know what? Like you said, no safety net.
There's no safety net,
and
bro.
it's hard these days because like people, even my mom is great, but she'd be like, Mijo, you don't have health insurance. You don't have what do you call them? Benefits. You don't have this. I'm like, damn, Mom, I know. Like you don't gotta tell me.
It's tough, bro. Especially like because we're considered freelance contractors. We're going from gig to gig to gig to gig. And I like to say that we're depending on how much money you're making doing this, but I like to say that I'm a high price prostitute because I get hired for an hour, I charge them money, I make you feel good, and then we both go home and cry. But I mean that's comedy in itself, and like it doesn't have to just be comedy. That like there's people out there that are doing different things, but if you I feel that everybody inside of themselves has a talent or a purpose, and if you're not really running with a purpose that you made a promise to God that you were going to do, eventually your body's just going to start getting in a state of unease or dis-ease, and it's your body's going to want to make an exit because you're not even on the program because I feel that everybody before they were born, they made a promise to God, like, this is what I'm going to go to the earth to do, this is what I want to do, this is how I'm going to give you glory. And if you're not doing that, like, man, like, I mean, maybe not everybody's meant to be a comedian or a rock star or whatever, but everybody has a talent that they can really they're really good at,
right?
And that you got to be using it. And if you're not, man, you're doing yourself a giant disservice. It's like the parable in the Bible that there's a parable in the Bible that talks about the master leaving the servants with certain amounts of talents. And talents back in the day was like a weight of coinage, like gold or type of silver, but it was also called talent. But in the I asked my pastors, like, are they talking about like real talent, like actual talent or money? And he's like, yes. They're talking about both, like. And one of the servants goes and he has like 5 talents, and he goes and takes those talents and he turns it into 5 more. And then the other one has 2 talents and he takes those 2 talents and he turns it into 2 more. And then the one guy that was given 1 talent, he goes is like, no, I don't want to risk it. I'm gonna hide this talent, and then when my master comes back, I'm just gonna give it back to him. And the master gets mad at the guy that has 1 talent. And he's like, dude, like, you didn't do anything. I could have just left this in the bank and would have been earning interest. Instead, you just buried it somewhere, kept it hidden, and you know what? I gave you that talent. I'm gonna take it from you, and I'm gonna give it to the dude that had 5. And he gives that talent, the 1 talent, because you hid it and you didn't show it off. You didn't use it for your purpose. It's gonna get taken away from you. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot to be learned from that. That parable is that if you have talents and you know you have talents and you're not using them, in the end, when we're all judged, he's going to ask you, what did you do with the talents that I gave you? And if you say, well, nothing, he's like, what was the point of your life? And
what was the point of you having it?
Yeah. So if you're out there and you're watching this and you're not feeling like you're living a purpose-filled life, you have the opportunity to change. This is actually your sign to change and to do something about it.
And if you are, like, I read this book. It was I read it all the time.
Which one?
It's called A Creative Way of Being, I believe. It's
cool.
by Rick Rubin. I'm not know if I'm saying it right, but in that book, he talks about people that are pursuing their dreams, but have a sense of anxiety. Like, I feel like comedy is a high anxiousness, high anxiety,
big time,
big pressure deal, big pressure job or something to follow. And there's a lot of things out there that are big pressure. Anybody, like any occupation, doctors, lawyers, you name it. Everybody feels a sense of pressure in what they do. Whatever it is you may do, there's always a sense of pressure. Even athletes, professional athletes, there's pressure to perform. There's pressure to, the Dallas Cowboys.
The imposter syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. It's like people have pressure. And one thing I read that was really powerful for me is the idea of, okay, well, if the pressure outweighs the fun of doing it, well then just stop. Don't do it no more. If as like a comedian, if you have a lot of pressure before you go on stage, or when you're on stage, you feel so much pressure and anxiety, and it's almost to the point to where it's like you're not having any fulfillment or enjoyment, well then just don't do it no more. Do something different. And then when I put it in that thought, if someone taking it from you, then it's almost like, no, don't take it from me. I'll do it. I'll do it. Because I don't like the feeling of not being able to do it.
For real.
So and for me, I'm like I get back to whenever I wasn't doing it anymore because of teaching and stuff. I felt that. I felt the idea of not doing it no more. Looking out the window, being like, man, I really miss that out there. You know what I mean? So in life, if you're doing something and you do have a sense of pressure or anxiety, that's okay. Sometimes anxiousness and nervousness, like I've seen you before, you headline a lot. That's what you do. And you host the shows here and you bring talent, but I've seen you as a headliner anxious.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. It's not a bad thing.
I harness that.
It's because you care.
Yeah.
You care, you love it, and sometimes it's taking that sense of anxiousness and anxiety and turning it into like
fuel.
Channeling that energy.
He's tackling fuel.
Tackling fuel.
For real.
So it's like just tackle what you want to do, man, and then
that's like you couldn't have said it any better, and I think that's that should be like how we wrap up, is to challenge people to do it.
Yeah.
And to do something, even if it's not full time.
Yeah.
Just try it.
And for even like back to that, saying that, like I might not always be a full-time comedian, you know? I might have to one day go find a side hustle to help fuel my stuff.
Ain't no shame in the game, baby.
But it doesn't mean I'm a failure. It doesn't mean nothing. As long as you're doing what you love, and that's all that matters.
And I think it's unfair to judge somebody if they're not doing something full time, because I went to a Shark Tank seminar, and it was hosted by Damon John, the FUBU guy, and he said that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. They're not doing what you see in the forefront is their main stream of income, but they have multiple streams of income in ways that they're making money. And I'm a huge proponent of side hustles. I'm a huge proponent of side hustles.
The world is an oyster, bro.
Yeah,
like, it's for the taking.
If you have an opportunity to do something full time, great. But if you have to supplement your income with a side hustle, there ain't no shame.
Right, other talents, why not use it? My side hustle is like I like to do home theater stuff. Like I'll mount televisions and cut in speakers and walls and do all that kind of stuff, and
like hide the wires and stuff.
Yeah, hide all the wires and build home theater rooms and
there's
people
money in that.
Yeah, people will hit me up. Hey, do you still do this? I'm like, yeah, I do it. He's like, well, come on, and I'm like, all right, let's do this. So
that's an extra little
income,
extra bit.
I've
of
even
cash.
thought of Uber driving sometimes, just to do it, just to make a little extra money.
I think you can come up with a bunch of material from that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. You can pull material from it.
For real.
Just talking to people for what we do. I'm always another shout out to that book I'm reading is great. It teaches you to always be aware. Like everything, there's material in everything. Everything you do is like you being very basically observational, being aware of what's happening.
Big time.
Because there's times as like we're parents, like you have your kids, I have mine. Sometimes as a parent, you're telling your kid to get ready, put your shoes on, or this or that, and you're in parent mode, and you're forgetting that, take one step back, like have an out of body experience, and be like, this could be a joke right here, like.
Yeah, I want to ask too, man. If there's anybody watching this, what's the best book you've read that like taught you a lot? Like I'm interested in seeing the comments.
Yeah, because I love reading. Like,
I love, especially if it's gonna make my mind grow and actually like expand my way of thinking for the better. I want to know. So put it in the comments. What's the best book that you've ever read? I think one that you got to read is, I got 2 books for you, and they're very short, very sweet, and they're actually very effective. And one is called The Way of the Superior Man by David Dieda. Dieda. That's his last name. David Dieda. The Way of the Superior Man. And that one is like really, it sounds kind of like sexist, but it's actually written in a way where women that read it, when women read it, they think they're going to get into like some sexist, like
they probably, but they probably feel like, I do want that man.
That's exactly when women read it, they're like, yes, that's what men need to be.
This is what I want.
Yes,
this is what I need.
And another one is How to Get Shit Done by Sean Whalen. Very short book. And I like it because you could read it while you're on the crapper. Like it's one of those like real short books, but man, it's effective. And when you apply the stuff that's in there, you really start moving big time, making big time moves. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the best books that you've ever read. Of course, you can get into like the 48 Laws of Power and
7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
I like that one. That one's a good one.
Yeah.
But they're longer. Those are longer.
Yeah.
It takes a while to read. But the ones that I gave you, they're very short and very effective. So I'd love to hear any recommendations that you guys have to in the out there in the audience world. Put it in the comments. The best books that you've read that have caused a big shift in your mindset.
Nice, man. And one thing I want to say too is that's helping me is like I'm in life or whatever you do, the main competition that we face, that we should face, is ourselves.
Big time.
It's you versus you.
That has helped me out so much.
You know, like it's hard in any profession, even in comedy. How long have you been doing comedy? About 25 years?
Since I was 8 years old. If you want to count 8, like since I first started, it's because I've been violently pursuing this passionately since I was 8. I'm 38 now, so 30 years.
30 years
of passionately pursuing this craft. And if you want to say, well, not, but like, when did you start getting paid for it? I started getting paid for it since I was 15. So I mean, it's still like 25 years of violent pursuit of this craft.
And in doing it, you've seen, we've all, like everybody sees it, we've all seen other comedians come and go. You've seen comedians probably springboard into success. You've probably seen comedians doing comedy exactly the same amount of time or even longer not have as much success.
Yep.
So you've seen all kinds of people taking different paths. We talked about paths earlier. So you've seen people either have the fast pass or you've seen people take the long road. There's no template for this, you know? So one of the biggest things that I see with people that one of the most negative things that you can think is, how come they are doing? How come they get this? Or how come I'm not doing that? Or
that'll ruin you.
Or
man.
how come they have all these followers and I don't? Or whatever. But it's like, if you just see it as, I want to be better than I was yesterday.
That right there.
I want to be, like, if you focus on what you're doing and be okay with it.
That right there has helped me out so much.
Like being truly humble with, like I said earlier, like I feel like I'm happy. I'm doing what I'm doing. I love every day.
Being satisfied with it.
Super satisfied. And it's not this. And it's not a sense of like I don't want people to think like just be comfortable where you're at and stay there.
No, yeah.
But being okay with how you're moving.
Yes.
And the path that you're taking. And you're not gonna like. It'll only hurt you to feel a sense of envy.
Yeah. I think there's like a saying that says comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
And I think. I used to get caught up in that and the like, oh well, he's doing this, he's doing that, and I think
and it's human nature, man.
It is human nature.
It's human nature to. I'm not saying you're not perfect if you feel that or whatever. That's just human nature. But if you can limit it or minimize it,
I think when you switch your mindset to where it's just like, no, it's just me against myself. Because after that, when I started feeling that way, I did turn that mindset is to like, no, as long as my mindset is I need to be better than the last time I was on stage. And that's been my mantra since probably for like close to 10 years. Like that every time I go on stage, I need to be better than the last time I was on stage. That is drastically not only up to my performance, but also up to my joy and peace. And I think that's that right there is like,
because it could be a nosedive. Like if I sat and watched you perform and held myself to the standard of what you do.
Oh no, it would drive you nuts.
Yeah, dude, it's almost like when I'm like playing golf. It'd be like watching you hit this drive down the middle, 400 yards, like Happy Gilmore. and like I hit a 250-yard drive, and I'm like, all right. And then it's your turn, and you hit it 400. That's me throwing the club in the air, like, all right, forget this, I'm out.
I'm out of here.
I quit.
And I think like when other comedians they see me go on stage, it's not fair.
Yeah,
it's not fair because I've been doing this.
It's not fair to yourself. Be nice to yourself.
Be nice to yourself. It's like it'd be like me getting into a boxing ring with Floyd Mayweather and be like, why can't I hit this guy?
Yeah.
But it's like this guy's been doing this since he was a kid. Same thing with me. I've been doing this. I have so many years on the most average comedian that's barely starting when he's like 18, 19, 20 years old. Even that's an early start. But I've been doing this since I was 8. I just have time on you, and there's time. there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's at their own level, and I think people, especially if they're watching right now, don't be anxious about getting to the spot that you want to be at. Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy right now.
And enjoy the steps that it takes to get there, because that, for me, when I changed that mindset, I was always thinking about like, I need to make it here, I need to make it there, I need to be over here. Bro, I was never satisfied. But now in my mindset, I'm thinking, man, every step is wonderful. Mm-hmm. Every step is just like an amazing part of the journey. And when you enjoy the journey, the destination is going to come by itself. And
it's that much sweeter.
It's sweeter, man.
It's that much sweeter.
Enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy every step that you take.
And bro, I thank you so much, man. You've always been so humble. I've always seen you be so kind to, your fans, your friends, fellow comedians. I'm super thankful for what you do. You've given so many comedians so many opportunities, even when you've seen them fail. You've seen me fail more than once, and then you're still like so motivational and like, bro, like, don't worry about it. That's like just so kind and so willing to be like, some people will see somebody fail or give them an opportunity and them not take advantage of it. Not that they didn't take advantage of it, but fail and then just delete their number or that mindset of like, bro, this guy failed.
I'm never gonna work with that guy again.
I'm gonna scratch him off. I'm done with this guy. So you've always been humble in a sense of wanting to help other comedians. I
like people that are hungry.
Yeah.
And I like people that are like that want it. And I remember like in our business, bro, like bombing is part of it. Even like established veterans still bomb, dude. Like everybody, it's part of the game. And
it always happens after a great show.
Yeah, it's comedy. I always say comedy is a cruel mistress that'll never let you get away with any crap. Like any BS, it's not gonna let you get away with it.
It'll keep you humble, man.
It'll always keep
if you're not humble in comedy, something's wrong with you.
Dude, there was this one time, like, and we'll end on this because this is one of my favorite stories. I was doing a show, and we're talking about Que Locos earlier. And Que Locos used to be filmed in this place called the Ice House in Pasadena.
Yeah.
And you've done it just recently,
I just did it recently.
Yeah. Was that a
cool
amazing?
Venue? Yeah.
Amazing, right?
Amazing.
And I think for me as a comedian, when Que Locos ended,
I didn't know it was there. I didn't know that.
It was shot there. And when Que Locos ended, I was just getting out of high school, and I so badly wanted to perform on the TV show. And they canceled, or they pulled it off the air as soon as I got out of high school, before I ever had a chance to perform on it. And I was so devastated by it. But then I got shows. I got 2 shows out there at the Ice House, and I sold them out. And I thought, this is it, bro. Like, I've made it. And not only did I sell those shows out, but I had gotten word that there's going to be talent agents from the 3 best Hollywood comedy agencies at this show.
Wow.
At this show. So I'm up there, bro, and I am killing it, dude. Like I knew that they were there, and I was like, the pressure was on me, and I was like, okay, let's deliver. Bro, one of the best sets I've ever had, bro. One of the best sets. And I know it was a good set because the head waiter, like the one that's been there the longest, came up to me in between the shows. He's like, I've never heard it this loud in my life, bro. This place was roaring. And I'm like, yes. And I go outside to go sell merch, and the talent agents were arguing with each other. Like, no, we want them. No, we're going to take them. Like they were all like just arguing over me. I'm like, this is it. I've made it.
Yeah. I'm for sure in.
I'm for sure
They're
in.
fighting.
This is it. They're fighting over me. I'm going to be making it. And they're like asking me like, hey, can you stick around? We want to have a meeting with you. And I couldn't because I had a show the next day. I had a show the next day in Idabel, Oklahoma. And I had to drive. My dad was with me, and he had to drive. We had to drive 23 hours to get to this show in Idabel, Oklahoma. So we couldn't stick around for these business meetings or nothing. But they got my number and everything like that. But I go from one moment to being in a sold out show in front of talent agents, and then driving across the country, and thinking, man, I've made it. I'm big time dog right now. I'm big time, bro. Like, I had Hollywood agents fighting over me. The Ice House has never been rocked like that before. And then I get to Idabel, Oklahoma, bro, and I have 2 shows there. One of them has 12 people. Like the first show. I get there, bro. There's 12 people there. I'm just like, oh man, this is terrible. Like, let's talk about a humbling experience. I go, well, maybe the second show will have more people. It's like a late crowd or something like that. Bro, the second show had 8 people in it. And that's what comedy is, bro. Comedy is always gonna knock you down and make you feel good. Like, hey, you're not a big shit yet.
That's what you get.
That's what you get. Oh, for real. And I think that's.
And you had to leave the agents. Hey, y'all fight over me. I gotta go.
Yeah, and that was the key. Like, I had to leave them, and it was definitely. It made me laugh. Like, now in retrospect, looking back on it, because it was. And I even did a video, like, because before I would do videos with the crowds, like selfie videos. Did you guys have a good time? They're like, yeah. And the whole ice house was full of, And then the next day I do with the Idaville crowd, there's like 8 people. Did you guys have a good time? They're like, hey! Like, 8 people. But, and that leads me to, like, to wrap up and say, hey, man, that's part of the game. Enjoy the ups and downs there, and enjoy the
all you
journey,
can do is smile, man.
Oh, yeah.
All you can do is be like, all right, this is what's up.
It's been a pleasure hanging out in the cul-de-sac.
You are in the sack.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to own this now. Damn it. And I promise y'all I'll show y'all the sack.
Put some baby oil on it, baby.
Hopefully the camera dies. Nah, but own what you got. Own what's up, man. And appreciate y'all watching. And there's still no name for this show.
Yeah, drop it. Any ideas that you have for a name? I don't think the cul-de-sac is a good name for it.
Episode 1, the unknown.
The unknown cul-de-sac.
Yeah, man.
But
own your sack, guys. Here it is.
You said you were gonna show it off.
Yeah,
go like
baby.
this.
Yeah, check that out.
Bro, it looks like a cue ball.
You can. You want to live right here? You can live right here. I live right here.
Dude.
You can ride your bike right around here.
The cul-de-sac, dude.
Own that sack. Shout out to all my cul-de-sac brothers out there.
He showed off his cul-de-sac. You better drop a like. You better drop a share. And you better subscribe to the channel, man. What's up with that? You better do it.
Nothing but love, man. Raymond, appreciate you, man. Thank you for doing this. We're going to have a great show tonight, man.
Yeah.
And
every Thursday, Isla Grand Beach Resort. Come on down and visit us at South Padre Island. We're down here.
And we're signing out. I'm Joshua Jay Nieto, Raymond Orta.
Comedian
Be sure
extraordinaire.
I got to do all the usuals. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and we appreciate the support. And follow Raymond Orta at Raymond Orta is funny.
Yeah, right? Raymond is funny.
Raymond is funny. You can follow us also on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as well.
That's right.
But y'all have a good day. Stay blessed.
Thanks for having me, bro.
You're welcome, bro. Peace out, y'all.
Ahí los guachamos.